Hello everybody, this is General Snivy and welcome to my new Let's Play. Welcome everybody to Let's Play Spyro the Dragon. This is take number 3. And I'll get into more details about that momentarily. Anyhow, this is one of 2 games that won the straw poll that I posted several months ago. The other game was Yoshi's Woolly World. And since this game and Woolly World tied with each other in the straw poll, I decided to employ the Seniority Rule, which is that the game that held the lead the longest was the overall winner. And in this case, it was Spyro the Dragon. And as soon as this game decides to enter demo mode, then I'm just going to simply exit. So anyhow, this is going to be my 3rd attempt at recording this game. And there is a pretty big reason why, more or less. Okay, come on, let's start the game now, please. Alright, time to recreate our save file yet again, because apparently the game hates me. And we need to start over for the 3rd freaking time in a row. Alright, let's begin once again, and hopefully this time this will work out better. In the world of dragons, something mystical is going to happen here.
Oh, it's been peaceful here in the 5 worlds, or is it 6? For a dragon's age. We now have 12,000 treasure, or is it 14,000? What about this nasty Gnorc character? Now, I understand he's found a magic spell to turn gems into warriors for his cause.
I'll take that question. Nasty Gnorc is a simple creature. Simple? He has been contained in a remote world and is no threat to the Dragon Kingdom. No threat! Besides, he is ugly. That does it!
Oh boy, that doesn't look good.
Looks like I got some things to do.
Yeah, like get your sinuses checked, Spyro. I mean, holy crap. Oh, that needs some serious work. But thankfully, this was addressed in future titles. That's for sure. So anyhow, the Dragons of Avalar, or... Oh shoot, that's the name of the world in the next game. Why am I thinking of Ripto's Rage? Holy crap, what the hell is wrong with me? Anyhow, Nasty Gnorc got super pissed due to the fact that the dragons were more or less making fun of him. And in this game, the dragons in this entire game are assholes. And honestly, they kind of deserved it. But at the same time, we still have to free them no matter what. And Nasty Gnorc could have definitely handled the situation better. So anyhow, the dragons have been crystallized, so now we have to set them all free.
Thank you for releasing me, Spyro. Free 10 dragons in the artisan world. Then find the balloonist. He'll transport you to the next world.
What about Nasty Gnorc? I'm going after him.
Find dragons first. That's all I can tell you.
I'm with Spyro here. I want to get to the gist of things, like right here and now. I want to fight Nasty Gnorc, and I want to finish the entire adventure right now. But no, we're not in a speedrun setting. We have to go after everything. So this is going to be a 100% run of the entire game. I almost said speedrun because that is way far from the truth. Honestly, I haven't played this game in years. And there are a lot of things that I don't quite remember. Anyhow, let's say hello to Dragon number 2, Delbin.
Where's Nasty Gnorc? I'll torch him.
Keep your horns on, Spyro! You have much to learn first. Do you know what the dragonfly following you is doing? His name is Sparks, and he's helping and protecting you. Keep an eye on him and see what I mean.
Indeed, we will. I'll get into the game's mechanics and how everything works in a minute. Right now, I have a story to tell, so take a minute, just sit right there, and I'll tell you all how I became the Prince of Bel-Air. I'm sorry, I just had to do it. I just had to. Okay, anyhow, the story is this. I started recording this Let's Play using a beta version of Elgato's game capture software. I got an hour and a half into the recording session, and then Elgato decided to crash on me for no reason. Windows 10 was like, oops, Elgato just stopped working and we have to close. So because of that, I lost the entire recording session, and that made me super pissed.
Hey, Spyro, press the jump button twice to glide. And don't be afraid.
Afraid? Of what?
Falling from high mountain peaks, plummeting into prehistoric glaciers.
Oh, that.
Makes sense. But yeah, anyhow, after losing that recording session, I was pretty mad. Like, pissed. Really pissed. But, whatever. These things sometimes happen when you're messing with beta versions of software. And the whole reason why I was even bothering to use the beta version of the latest Elgato software anyhow was because I was trying to fix a problem I was having with the original Game Capture HD, and that is that the AV output, whether it's on the either on the Elgato side, but I think it's more or less in line with my television. Anyhow, I would get a picture on my television using like an AV connection, but when I boot up the Elgato capture software, or OBS for that matter, the picture on my television would disappear, but I would get a picture on the software. Why is this? Well, after doing a little bit of digging around and some researching, I've learned that my television, for some weird reason, does not support the proper resolution, which I think is 720 by 480i. Either that or it's 640 by 480. Anyhow, my TV does not support that resolution. So because of that, I don't get a picture on the television while I have it connected to the Elgato software or OBS, and while the programs are open. However, if I close the software and not record anything at all, then I still get a picture on my television. I mean, my television does have support for AV and component output as well as HDMI, but for some reason it's just not playing nice with the original Game Capture HD. And I would use my converter box, but well, it depends on what system I'm using. In this case, it was the Nintendo 64 when I was first encountering the issue. I figured trying out the beta software would possibly fix the issue with the original Game Capture HD, but unfortunately that's not the way it works. It's unfortunate, but that's the way it has to be, unfortunately. Oh, come on, really? Had to slip and fall into the water. So because of the whole crashing issue that I encountered with the Game Capture software, I decided to say, screw it, and I'm going to try recording it via OBS Studio, which is the software I use to live stream games with. And I don't want to use XSplit because of the fact that well, one, it costs money, two, I don't have a subscription, and three, I've had better results with OBS. But this is subject to debate and also dependent on system builds.
Cool, Flash. Do that again.
The artisan's boss is through a portal in the Dragon Mouth, but you are not yet ready, Spyro. First, you must complete one of the other artisan lands.
Okay. Seems perfectly fair to me. By the way, whenever you free a dragon, they'll either offer you a hint, or they'll say, "Thank you for rescuing me," and then vanish. Very rarely will you encounter a dragon that actually offers not only that advice, but also says, "Thank you for rescuing me." Take a drink every time you hear a dragon say, "Thank you for releasing me." And whenever you release a dragon, their pedestal which the crystallization stood on, they can now be used as save points. Whenever you stand on one, just select the option to select save, and bada bing, bada boom, you are done. Let's see, my total is 84. Okay. There's still a bit of exploring left to do in the hub area. The fun thing I really like about Spyro the Dragon, and really the original trilogy, is that you're free to pretty much go anywhere you please. You can go anywhere that you want and tackle any level in any order, with the exception of boss levels. Those levels have to be tackled when you complete all the remaining levels first. That, or I think you just have to do a bare minimum of something. And then after that, then you're good to go. Hmm. 98. And boom, we're done. So anyhow, earlier, one of the dragons mentioned that I should keep an eye on Sparks. Sparks is the name of Spyro's dragonfly that just follows him around. He represents your health. Gold means he's perfectly healthy and you can take a hit just fine, without much consequence. Blue means that you've taken at least one hit, but you're still okay. If you take another hit, then he turns green, and that means your health is getting low, so watch it. And if you take one more hit, then Sparks disappears completely, which means you only have one hit remaining, and if you happen to get hit again, you will die. And if you die, well, you return to where a previous checkpoint was marked, which is either invisible or represented by these dragon pedestals in which the dragon crystallization statues once stood. So, yeah, that's basically that. But in order to restore Sparks back... What? In order to restore Sparks' health, what you have to do is relatively simple. Go hunt down some small animals, such as sheep or frogs. Killing them will release a butterfly, in which case Sparks will chase the butterfly and eat it, and thus gain strength. And I think that's basically that. Hunting down small animals is a pretty easy feat in most levels. However, as we continue onward further and further into the game, things will get a bit more complicated than that. And, of course, it's not going to exactly be the easiest walk in the park. At least in the first few levels, it's pretty straightforward to go through. By the way, the first level that I'm choosing to do right now is a flight level. It's a free flight level, to be exact. Free flight levels work like this. You have a set number of objects that you have to either destroy or fly through. Completing those objectives will allow you to more or less complete a little time trial of sorts. Completing the said trial will allow you to gain additional gems. It's a good challenge. There are several flight levels in the game. I can't exactly remember how many. If I'm remembering correctly, it's either 4 or 5. There should be at least one per world, with a couple of exceptions here and there. But the first flight level, which I'm flying in now, is a very well hidden secret. I didn't even know about this until the previous recording session. At one point, I ended up, I was in the second world, and I ended up getting stuck. Getting stuck on a platforming segment that I simply could not complete. I mean, I could not get to a certain platform that I needed to get to. But, after looking up a video, or more or less a speedrun of the game by Awesome Games Done Quick, which was done in 2015, anyhow, after watching a little bit of that and figuring out their strategy, what do they do, I pretty much mimicked their motions 100%. And I was able to complete the level, and I've also learned of this secret that I completely, utterly missed. I didn't even know about this until I watched that particular video, or up to the point that I needed to. And, yeah. You learn something new every time you play. And this is so true with every game that you play ever. Even if you are considered a master, there are still plenty of things left to learn. Both mechanically and also something else too. Shoot. What was I trying to say? Shoot. And I just said shoot in the same sentence within a few seconds. Dang it. Well, anyhow, first flight level is done. Let's head on off to Stone Hill. And it's not brought to you by Strickland Propane, and we're not going to become king of the hill. When exploring each and every level, it's very wise to explore every single inch from top to bottom. And I truly mean this too. And the whole reason why is because you never know when you may end up missing something. Sure, not everyone has a good sense of direction, especially when it comes to 3D platformers and collectathons such as these. But, still, gotta have some sort of common sense, like, did I go over here yet? Did I have a look over here? Did I look at this thing? Did I even try to get over to that platform that's way out in the distance that looks like I could potentially make it to? It's very common sense, and in all honesty, everyone should have this. I don't know why certain people just simply don't have it. But, whenever you're going through an adventure blindfolded, or more or less playing through the game for the first time, it's still a good idea to maintain that sense of wonder.
Spyro, my friend, how about a hint on gliding?
You bet.
For the longest glide, press the X button at the top of a jump, and try pressing the triangle button to drop down in mid-flight.
Thanks for the tip. Kinda knew this already, coming from the previous recording session and everything. But anyhow, I never really explained basic controls yet. And that was because I kept going into a tangent of my previous endeavors from the previous recording session that just will never see the light of day. I mean, I'm not even able to salvage it in any way, shape, or form. I even tried going directly into the Elgato Game Capture library on my second hard drive that I have on my PC. I tried looking in there, nothing was there, unfortunately. Hello, what do we have here? Say hello to these blue thieves. They've stolen dragon eggs, and what you have to do is give them a nice kiss in the booty with your horns and shove them right up there. Shove them real good up there. After defeating the thief, you'll gain back the dragon egg. There are many dragon eggs in the game, and you can view your totals at any time by pausing the game and selecting inventory. Let's see, how many eggs are there? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Looks like there's 10. Let me count again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, there's 12. There's 12 eggs, and you can also view how many gems and dragons are within each and every single level just by viewing your inventory screen. Keep an eye on this, as you're going to be using this as your primary checklist. Within each and every single level, there's a different number of gems that you need to collect and a different number of dragons that you need to rescue. This is dependent on and changes from level to level. So don't let your guard down at any point whatsoever. If you think that there's only like 100 gems, since there was only like 100 gems in the hub area, there's only like 100 gems in the level. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Not even close, my friend. Check your inventory and you should find out for yourself that some levels have a maximum number of gems as far as 200, 400, etc., etc. Just keep a good eye on these things, because trust me, you're going to need to do so. Alright, let's take a look at you.
After you freed all the dragons, pass through this fancy vortex thingamajigger. It'll take you back to the artisan home. But first, let me tell you a story.
No thanks. See ya.
Another thing I really like is this game's humor. I really do enjoy the humor of the game. Sure, it may be considered dated by today's standards, and honestly, that's not really fair, but whatever. For the time, they were pretty good. And even by today's standards, despite what I just said a few moments ago, they can still be funny to some people. Like, to me, that was pretty funny. And let me tell you a story. I wonder if he was going to make a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reference like I did just a few moments ago. I wouldn't be surprised. By the way, just a few moments ago I collected a strange key. The key is used to unlock one giant chest. The chest will contain a lot of gems, so be sure to find the key and find the chest. Though, a lot of times when you're exploring these levels, you'll end up finding the chest before you find the key. And even if that happens, don't worry about it. Just make a mental note of where the chest is and come back to it once you have the key.